There's one word on a power station spec sheet that quietly tells you whether it'll last 10 years or barely 2, and a surprising number of well-known, well-reviewed, genuinely premium brands are betting you'll never look for it. It's the battery chemistry, and once you know what to look for, you'll start noticing which companies are charging flagship prices for technology they should have retired years ago. Here's the thing, almost nobody explains before you buy. Nearly every portable power station on the market runs one of two battery types. The good one is lithium iron phosphate. You'll see it written as LiFePO4 or sometimes just LFP. The old one is NMC, nickel manganese cobalt, which is what most people mean when they vaguely say lithium ion. They sound similar, they are not similar. And the gap between them is the difference between a unit you buy once and a unit you replace twice. The number that matters is cycle life. How many times you can drain and recharge before the battery drops to 80% of what it started with. A good lithium iron phosphate unit is rated for around 3000 cycles, and plenty go far beyond that. NMC, typically somewhere between 500 and 1000. Put that in real terms. If you actually use the thing regularly, an NMC power station is often looking at 2 to 3 years before it noticeably fades. The lithium iron phosphate equivalent, under the same use, is closer to 8 or 10 years. Same money up front, wildly different lifespan. One reviewer summed it up bluntly. Over a decade of daily use, the better chemistry ends up dramatically cheaper per cycle, even when the sticker price is identical. So who's still selling you the old stuff? This is where it gets uncomfortable, because it's not just the cheap no-name brands you'd expect. Let's start with the one that will sting for a lot of people. Goal Zero. This is a legacy, premium, well-respected name, the brand a lot of buyers reach for precisely because it feels like the safe, established choice. And yet several of their flagship Yeti units are still built on older NMC chemistry in 2026, while charging a clear premium over the competition. Reviewers have been increasingly blunt about it. A well-built power station, legitimate off-grid credentials, but the NMC chemistry, the slower charging, and the stubborn premium price make it, in their words, a tough sell against lithium iron phosphate rivals. For me, that is the most frustrating kind of product. It is not bad hardware. You are just paying top dollar for a shorter lifespan and getting the brand name instead of the better battery. If you already own one and love it, that is fine. But going in new today, you are cross-shopping a unit like the EcoFlow Delta 2 or the Bluetti AC200L that costs less and last far longer. Next, Jackery, but with an important caveat, because fair is fair. Jackery's Premium Plus and Pro line moved over to lithium iron phosphate, and those are genuinely solid. The problem is their budget models, the Explorer 300, 500 and the 1000 version 2, which still run NMC. Those units are rated for roughly 500 to 800 cycles, which works out to about 2, maybe 3 years of regular use before real degradation. Now, Jackery makes that trade for a reason. NMC is lighter, and if you're a true hiker or overlander counting every pound, a lighter battery you only use a few times a year is a defensible choice. But for the far more common buyer, someone wanting home backup or steady use, you're buying a short life battery, and the $200 step up to their lithium iron phosphate model buys you roughly 4,000 cycles instead of 800. That's not a small upgrade. That's the difference between disposable and durable. And then there's the bargain bin tier, the brands you see with a big discount and a name you half recognize from Amazon. Some are fine, some are not, and the tells are consistent. Take Gracell. Decent watt-hour numbers in testing, but it runs NCM chemistry, and reviewers ran into an unreliable onboard computer that cut out unpredictably during use. That's the budget brand pattern. The spec sheet looks competitive, but the chemistry is old and the reliability is a gamble. Here's where I want to be straight with you, because this isn't about trashing every cheap brand. Not all of them deserve it. Opes, for example, a name you'd expect to be junk, actually tests well, uses a clean pure sine wave inverter, charges fast, and holds a strong customer rating. So the lesson isn't expensive good, cheap bad. The lesson is that the chemistry and the spec sheet tell the truth when the marketing won't, regardless of price. So here's how you never get caught by this. Before you buy anything, find the battery chemistry on the spec page. If it clearly says Live PO4 or LFP, good. That's the modern, long life chemistry, and you're fine. If it says NMC or just lithium ion or the vaguest possible word lithium with no detail at all, that's your red flag. And there's a second tell that works even when they hide the chemistry. Look at the cycle rating. Anything rated around 2,500 to 3,000 cycles or higher is lithium iron phosphate. Anything rated around 500 to 1,000 is the old stuff, no matter what the marketing calls it. If a company buries the chemistry and quietly lists an 800 cycle rating, they're telling on themselves. None of this means NMC is worthless. If you genuinely need the lightest possible unit for occasional trips, it has a place, and a good brand with a solid battery management system will run it safely. But if you're buying a power station to sit in your closet for a blackout or to run regularly at home, and you're paying premium money for it, you deserve the chemistry that lasts a decade, not the one that fades in 2 years. The brand on the front doesn't determine that. The word on the spec sheet does. Go find it before you spend $1.